What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and Ghost of Tsushima continues to crush sales, not only here in the United States, but everywhere around the world. We do officially know that Ghost of Tsushima was the highest selling game for the month of July, and we'll get into what that means and how it stacks up against everything else that's been released this year. But first, we have to take a look at Japan, where Ghost of Tsushima has set a record in just over 3 weeks that took Spider-Man PS4 2 years to set. Let's take a look at this news, which is just incredible. Nobody was expecting this. This is from Benji Sales, does a lot of stuff for video game sales over on Twitter. Ghost of Tsushima is now the highest selling first-party PlayStation 4 exclusive in Japan. It only took a little over 3 weeks. It reached 330,000 physical sales in Japan, surpassing the previous record holder Spider-Man from Insomniac. Congrats to Sucker Punch Productions. That is absolutely insane when you think about that. Spider-Man, when you look at Spider-Man, you realize what a success that was, again, everywhere in the world. And you realize that Ghost of Tsushima just surpassed that number in physical sales in 3 weeks when it was virtually sold out all around the country. They couldn't print enough to keep them in stores, but still gets those sales numbers. Let's take a look at a little more detail in here. With an overall very impressive 2.4 million units sold a mere 3 days after its worldwide release, Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima became the fastest selling original PS4 IP, managing to surpass Days Gone and Death Stranding in Japan, they're talking about. Those sales numbers set the bar pretty high, and it was also revealed the game was breaking sales records in Japan, positioning itself as the second highest selling first-party title on PS4 with over 300,000 physical copies sold. Absolutely insane that it was able to dethrone Spider-Man PS4. When you think of the love that that title has for it, how well it sold, the idea that they're launching PlayStation 5 off of what essentially is almost a DLC, a Miles Morales DLC for Spider-Man PS4. Now, of course, we all know that it is a game within itself. It's not actually a DLC, but you understand what I'm saying. A spin-off of that is what they're launching PlayStation 5 off of. That's how high regarded that game is. Yet Ghost of Tsushima breaks that sales record in Japan. Incredible news. An incredible send-off for the PlayStation 4. But like I said, it's not just in Japan. It's not just in the UK. It's not just in Australia. It's not just New Zealand. It's everywhere. And we have this news. Ghost of Tsushima was the best-selling game in the United States in July. Now, there are a little bit of caveats here because Take-Two Interactive doesn't share all of their data right away. Take-Two, with things such as NBA 2K20, not all of the numbers are there in regards to the virtual currency that they've sold, things like that. And I did want to use a different article to talk about this. It has the same numbers, but just in a little bit different way. This one is talking specifically about Paper Mario Origami King as well as Ghost of Tsushima. And it should also be noted that this is the first month that NPD is sharing this new metric, VGC, video game content. So as they explain here, they only previously shared full game software sales. It's now combining that with what they're spending on microtransactions, downloadable content, subscriptions, and more. So there is a little bit of difference in that. But let's take a look at the software rankings. And of course, we have the king, Ghost of Tsushima, on top for the month of July. Now, it should be noted that The Last of Us Part 2, which was on top for the month of June, has fallen down to 4th place in the United States. Not really much of a surprise there. Last of Us Part 2 falling down below Paper Mario Origami King, just above Animal Crossing for the United States. So you have Ghost, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Paper Mario, Last of Us Part 2, and Animal Crossing. For Ghost of Tsushima, PlayStation 4's latest exclusive caught on with fans. This feels like Sucker Punch's Horizon Zero Dawn moment, where it sets itself on a new course with a new franchise. I think that that's kind of undeniable that this game has been a revelation to so many people, and you already have people saying, what about the next one? What about the next one? What about the next one? Are you going to make a Ghost of Tsushima 2? We got some news about multiplayer as well, a little hint thrown out there. I think I'm going to do a video on that tomorrow, possibly, or maybe maybe save it for my stream. But you can see here, Ghost of Tsushima was July's best-selling title. Ghost of Tsushima is developer Sucker Punch's production fastest-selling release in history. It also debuted as 2020's 5th best-selling game year to date. That is something that I wanted to take a look at because you're looking at the top 10 best-selling games so far this year. Now, keep in mind, Ghost of Tsushima has only been out for, like we said, not even 3 weeks. You're just talking month of July. Came out about halfway through July. That's the time frame we're looking at, and it is already the 5th best-selling game of the year. You have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Animal Crossing New Horizons, The Last of Us Part 2, followed closely by Final Fantasy and Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing the official digital sales numbers for Ghost of Tsushima. That's really what I want to see. I want to see how that compares to the physical sales, because we know that Ghost of Tsushima is really hard to get your hands on a physical copy. It's sold out so many places. They really underestimated the demand for this. I'm wondering if the digital sales will come up to even to match those physical sales at 2.4 million, or whether it's down a little further. I want to know officially, not just in a list like this. I want numbers next to it. I think it's going to be really interesting to see the comparisons between that, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and also The Last of Us Part 2. And it is followed by Dragon Ball, MLB The Show, Resident Evil 3, Mario Kart, and Mortal Kombat. It is interesting how many PS4 exclusives are up there. 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, Final Fantasy Remake is a timed exclusive, but still an exclusive nonetheless. And MLB The Show 20 as well. Those are 4 PS4 exclusives that are right up there in the top 10 of the best-selling games so far this year. Really does show that exclusivity and what you have does matter when it comes to software sales. And you also see, obviously, Animal Crossing and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still high up there as well. Of course, Nintendo exclusives. But overall, an incredible news for Ghost of Tsushima, not only for July, but also the 5th highest selling game already of 2020. I'm interested to see, I keep talking about this, I'm so interested to see as the year goes on, as we see copies of The Last of Us Part 2 sit there on shelves, not being sold. We've seen the numbers from places like Best Buy. We've seen stacks and stacks and stacks of them, whereas Ghost of Tsushima, it's almost impossible to find them. As time goes on, will this word of mouth, this hype that has been surrounding Ghost of Tsushima continue until they can restock those shelves, get it out there to people that want to play it? Will we see those sales continue to rise and perhaps even eclipse this highly anticipated sequel of The Last of Us Part 2? That's something that no one could have thought was imaginable. No one ever would have thought that was within reach, back a couple months ago. And then we saw what Naughty Dog did. We saw what happened with The Last of Us Part 2. We realized it was so disappointing to so many people after all the hype and after all the marketing that Sony put into pushing this game, as opposed to the barely anything we saw for Ghost of Tsushima. But good news for right now, potentially even more incredible news as time goes on when it comes to Ghost. But let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Interested to hear your thoughts. Do you think Ghost will continue this trend as maybe people stop buying PS4 stuff and save up for the next gen? Or do you think it's going to continue this trend in the month of August? Let me know. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.